So food in the mouth is the natural stimulus. So the reflexive response, what does that mean? These are the words that you can use it. So when they ask for a classical conditioning, this experiment, you can go ahead with that. So these are the words, you can use it regularly on your exams. So that will yield you marks. So these are the words the examiners expects it in the as far the classical conditioning is concerned. So first is neutral stimulus, then is natural stimulus. We can say as unlearned natural stimulus. That is, either way, நீங்க ஃபுட்டை பார்த்தோன்னே அது வந்து ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா இட் start salivating. Okay, so that is unlearned natural stimulus. Food is an unlearned natural stimulus. Okay, then reflexive response. That is, dog salivating is the response that is given by the dog. That is reflexive response. So now what happens is two stimuli. First is food and Pavlov. Both are paired now. Okay, so that is the both are paired now. Now what happens is ரெண்டும் பேர் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் நார்மலா பாவ்லோவே வந்து it becomes a neutral stimulus. That becomes a stimulus that we call as a neutral stimulus. Yes, ma'am. So this is what the thing is. So what we have seen is, so dog's mouthல அந்த food பார்த்ததுனால, I mean it could feel that food. So அதனால it gets a stimulus. That is unconditional stimulus. This is automatic. So we should have a understanding that condition and unconditioned. Condition is after the experiment. Okay, unconditioned is normal actually. Okay, that is what we have to understand. Unconditioned stimulus is normally dogs salivating. I mean, salivating because of the food. So the food is unconditioned stimulus. So that is what they are giving here. So then it is unconditioned response. Unconditioned response is nothing but a dog's salvation. So first thing is they are abbreviating. They might ask you like this: UCS. What is UCS? UCR. So UCS is unconditioned stimulus. That is food which is given dog's mouth. So that is the unconditioned stimulus. And unconditioned response is dog's salivation. So that is unconditioned response. So now we are getting into this controlled stimulus. That is, what happens is, he understood that a dog is salivating with his seeing himself. So what he has done is he wants to control it. Okay, so he wants to check whether I can control this stimuli. So what he does is he takes a bell. Okay, so he takes a bell, he uses a bell. So first he starts he gives a bell, then he gives a food. Okay, so what Pavlov is doing is, instead of giving directly, he rings a bell, then gives a food. Okay, so now he is able to control it. Okay, control the response. So he is using the bell. Now what happens is, earlier food was a stimuli, then Pavlov was a stimuli, then now the bell is a stimuli. Okay, so you should see the difference. Okay, now the controlled stimuli is the bell. Okay, so now the dog was classically conditioned to salivate to the sound of a bell alone. So it doesn't now it doesn't salivate looking at Pavlov or looking at food. Now it start salivating looking at the bell itself. Okay, so hope you guys understand. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so that is what it is. So this is what called as conditioned. The dog was classically conditioned to salivate to the sound of a bell alone. So this is, Pavlov has conditioned the dog now. Okay, so it salivates looking at the, I mean hearing the bell itself. Okay, so Pavlov called the sound of the bell as a conditioned stimulus. The conditioned stimulus is CS. Okay, to the conditioned stimulus, that is for the bell, it starts stimulating. That response is called the conditioned response. So he called the dog salivation to the sound of the bell. The conditioned response is that is what it is. So which is learned reflective response to a previously neutral stimulus, which was neutral stimulus. That is, Pavlov was the neutral stimulus. Okay, so food was the natural stimulus. So this is how you have to understand. So now controlled stimulus is bell. Yeah, yes, ma'am. So now you can see the picture now. So the first thing what I and this is before conditioning. The first picture on the left side, on the top side, is a before conditioning. That is unconditioned stimulus. That is food, which is the dog sees and it salivates. So that is unconditioned response. Okay. So this is before conditioning. Okay. Then what happens is neutral stimulus. First, neutral stimulus before conditioning. What happens? Bell, looking at the bell, dog doesn't salivate. Okay, dog doesn't salivate. So neutral stimulus is bell, and it's a no salivation. So no conditioned response. There is no response from the dog. Okay, then during conditioning, what it happens is it shows the bell and food. Then it started unconditioned response. Okay, so there is a response, but yeah, along with the bell, it sees the food also. Then it's a unconditioned response. Now after conditioning it, now you see the bell is conditioned stimulus, and now the salvation comes looking at the bell itself. So the salvation, you can see, so that is conditioned response. So finally you see a conditioned stimulus and conditioned response. Yes, ma'am. So this is what it is. So now the dog is conditioned to salivate to a particular stimulus. New stimuli could elicit a conditioned salivary response. Elicit is nothing but behavior which already it is there in you, that comes out. Okay, so elicit nothing but the behavior already which is inbuilt in you, that comes out because of the stimuli. So that is called elicit. Okay, so dog was conditioned to salivate to a particular stimulus. New stimuli could also elicit the conditioned salivary response. So stimulus generalization. So what happens is then he continued the experiment further. What he did is he made high sound with the bell, then he did low sound with the bell. Okay, so he gave a food when it is low sound. Okay, so then that's how stimulus generalization he did. Okay, so what he does is when he rang the bell loudly, he will not give. When he rang the bell slowly, he will give the food. So this is what stimulus generalization happened. Then stimulus discrimination happened. What happened is he took the dog biscuit in a box and he shakes. Okay, that sound the dog can identify. And then he took some goldfish kind of a cracker kind of a thing. So he put it in a box. He